Hi everybody, today we'll talk about the vehicles on sale for the Black Friday week. We start with the M18 Black Cat. It's a tank destroyer that you can find at BR 6.0 at rank 3 in the US Tech Tree. This is basically a M18 with a different paint job and with a slightly different cannon that is basically just aesthetical. It doesn't give any difference in game. The M18, it's a very fast tank destroyer, great for ambushes and to flank the enemy. It's a very good vehicle at 6.0 and it has basically no problem penning almost any enemy found at this BR. Obviously, you find yourself with very little armor. Most of the machine guns can pen you. And you find yourself with 5 crewmen, with a pilot, a machine gunner, a commander, and a loader. Keep in mind that the commander, it sits basically all the time on the outside of the tank, so it's very easy to kill. Okay, so we are now in the test drive. The tank has a 50 caliber machine gun on the top, capable of dealing with most light tanks. The main gun can pen very well most of the enemies that you will find at your tier. The vehicle itself, it's quite speedy, both on paved roads and on soft ground. That means that if you have any problems with an enemy, you can relocate and try to flank the enemy to avoid the stronger frontal armor. The second vehicle that it's on sale for the US during the Black Friday is the P-61A-11, also called the Black Widow. This aircraft, it's an aircraft found at 3.7 at rank 3. It is an attacker and it has a few parts of armor that it's still 12.7 millimeters or also 9.5 millimeters or bulletproof glass for 60 millimeters. You have 3 crewmen, a pilot, a gunner and a rear gunner. You have a radar station. It's a very early one. It's the Mark 10. Even if it's a very early one, it's actually quite good for its BR. Here you have 4 20mm cannons that has some okay penetration for the anti-tank round, while the anti-aircraft rounds are quite good. You have also 4 12.7mm machine gun in the gunner position, and you have also the possibility of carrying 2 1000 bombs or 2 500 kilograms bombs. Okay, we are in a test drive and we will see how much damage we can do with these 2 1000 kilogram bombs to a enemy base. The aircraft, it's quite sluggish, being such a big and heavy aircraft, so you can't really rely on your speed in case that you want to use it for air combat. The bombs drop in single drops. We can take out half the life of a enemy base. Against light tanks, the cannons can actually do pretty good job. While instead the two bombs in ground realistic battles can do quite a good job against more heavily armored enemies, seeing that you have a 12 meters blast radius against armored vehicles. The only vehicle that it's on sale for the Black Friday in the Russian Tech Tree, it's the Ka-50, also called Black Shark. This helicopter has some armor in the name of 20 millimeters of aluminum all around the cockpit, while it has a 22 millimeters bulletproof glass. The helicopter has only one crewman, and the aircraft can carry machine gun pods and several missiles. It can also carry bombs, but those are more rarely used. The Ka-50, it's a very good helicopter, not as good as it once was, but it's still very good. It doesn't have thermal imaging devices, so it's not as easy to spot enemies long range, and the gun can't fully traverse. It can actually traverse very little. As you can see right now, we are already out of range, and also to the left. It can't traverse much downward and not even upward. As missile, it used the Vickers. That it's a very good, very long range missile. It is a 10-kilometer range missile, and it basically can one-shot almost any vehicle. It is a mouse-guided missile, it's not fire and forget. Also, against more modern vehicle, it doesn't really have much problems. Obviously, it's not as good as it once was, because there are more modern SPAA missile vehicles at basically any BR and to any nation. Last but not least, it's Black Prince, the only vehicle in sale for Black Friday in the UK Tech Tree. It is a heavy tank at the BR of 6.0 and Tier 4. It is armed with the 17-pounder gun, found also on the Firefly and the early Centurions. You have 5 crewmen with the machine gunner, the pilot, the loader, the gunner and the commander. The armor itself, it's not amazing. You have 139mm for the lower plate, 152mm for the top plate, and you have 152mm for the gun mantlet. Most of these ports are flat, so it doesn't offer as much protection as they would if they were angled. One of the most common enemy found at this BR, it's the Panther, where the Panther with the Panzergrenade 3942 can basically pen you anywhere at 200 meters. Also, something like a Tiger, that's a very common tank to find around this BR, can pen the gun mantlet of the tank. And instead, at very close range, it can also pen the hull. Okay, and here we are in the test drive. The tank has only a coaxial machine gun, so it's not as useful to deal with light tanks. The main gun can fire only solid shots, but it's very strong. You can basically pen with no problems almost any tank that you find at your own BR. Obviously, being solid shots, you might need a few extra rounds to kill an enemy. The tank itself, it's quite sluggish, not very fast and not very maneuverable, especially on unpaved roads. So, to conclude today's buyer's guide, I highly suggest to get the M18 Black Cat if you're looking for a mid-tier tank destroyer that's very fun and very fast. The Black Widow could also work as a CAS aircraft to fit in the same lineup as this tank if you don't feel like grinding the whole American Tech tree. Obviously, keep in mind that you are up-tiering the Black Widow quite a lot, so you might find a little bit more difficult to use it. The KA-50 instead could work as a good support vehicle for a lineup of 11.7 with the T-72B3, the T-80U and the T-90A at 11.0. Keep in mind that compared to when it was released, you need to be a little bit more wary of your positioning and the enemies on the battlefield, because right now there are a lot of SPAA that can deal with you, even as low as 10.3 with for something like the OSA AKM that can be found in the Russian, Italian, UK and German tech tree. Instead, for the Black Prince, I wouldn't really suggest it unless you really want to have a vehicle to fill together with the Centurion Mark 1 that you can find it at the same BR as the Black Prince. Otherwise, you can also always up tier it with the Charioteer and the FV4005. Keep in mind that the tank itself, it's not that great as 6.0, so up tiering it to 6.3 might not be the best choice. I really hope that you liked this video, and if you did, please leave a like, comment and subscribe.